Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
In the last video, we have learned about routing in Angular. Now we will learn what is child routes in Angular. For that, we will create two more new components, teachers and students. So these two components will be teacher component and student component. Let's create student component first and then the teacher component. Now, after some time, like we can see, a student component is being created. The same we will do with teacher component and create the teacher component now. So now the teacher component is also being created. As you can see, our components are being created. Now we will do some changes to our new components. Let's go to teacher component first. So let's now move ahead and go to teachers.component.html. Write inside it h1 as teacher component. So h1 and teachers component. The same we will do with the student component. So inside h1 it should be students component. Now once it is done, we will go to home.component.html and add the tag for teacher and student compare. So student and teacher component to check if they load properly, and on save the changes, like you can see, both the components are loaded properly. Now let's create some buttons. Let's remove this first and create some buttons. The button for teacher and I can say students. So our two buttons are being created. Now let's create some buttons on the browser. We have two new buttons, right? Let's comment the above two buttons for now. Let's go to approuting.module.ts file. Here we want these two components to be the child of component home component. So we will write children inside the home component path. In there we will define the child route path and respective components. So as you can see, the path for student and component is student component. So this all come under the children array of home component. So these two components will be the child components of this home component. So student components, then the teachers component. Let's save the changes and now let's go to home.component.html. Let's create a div there first. A div here. Okay, with some class. Okay, no, I guess we should not use this. We will directly create a router.outlet here. So simple router.outlet will work here. Now on save of the changes, let's move to app.routing.module.ts, and for the blank route, like when nothing is in there, we will call or redirect our component to the teachers component, and the path mesh will be full. So this will be the default component that will be loaded first when there is no path. So let's try to add some more information to it. Go to teachers component.ts and create a teachers array, and let's initialize the value of it inside ngOnInit function with key value pair of name and subject. So here the name will be like suppose John, and with subject Yeah, so like we have created this. Let's try to change the name and subject here. Now save the changes and you can see now first let's go to teachers.component.html and create an unordered list using ng for directive and change the array to teachers and print the name and subject like this. Now save the changes once it is done, and once these changes are done, we will see on save a list of teachers and the subjects date teaches. So as you can see, John teaches English, Amber teaches science, and Steve teaches physics. So this is the list basically. Let's do the same with the students component and create a students array and initialize it with some students data. So students component with so now let's initialize our students array with the name and some class name and class pair, key value pair. Let's simply copy paste this thing and once it is done, once this creation of this components is done, let's try to change the name. And now let's go to student.component.html. There we will also create an unordered list of students like we did with the teachers component. So here ng for item of this array name, that is students, and we will print the name of student and in the class which he studies. So item dot name studies in item dot studies in class, then item dot class. Let's now save the changes and let's go to home.component.ts and create two more functions, that is go to teachers and define the routes, this router.navigate to home/teachers, and the same we will do with students. So simply copy paste this function and just change the name to go to students and the navigate URL to home/students. Now save the changes and go to home.component.html and let's bind these functions with click event to our button of teacher and students. So as you can see, I have binding these functions that we have created now, and let's save the changes. On student click, you will see the student component is being loaded with, and in the URL you can see how the URL changes to there. This is how child route works in Angular.